regular meeting of the City Council held in the Council Chamber on Thursday, June 14th, 2012 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on June 5th, 2012 at 11:13 a.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. All councilors is present except for Councilor O'Keefe, who has an excused absence this evening. Council President Lovely presiding. Councilor Sargent moved to dispense with the reading of the previous record. All those in favor, opposed, so voted. I now ask that everyone please rise to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilor Ryan.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public testimony. We have two people that have signed up for public testimony tonight. The first is Patricia McLeod. I actually spoke with Patricia earlier, and she will not be at the meeting tonight, so I'd like to withdraw her name. The second person is Richard Hudson. Mr. Hudson, if you would come to you could sit right there at the table, and your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Richard Hudson. I live at 33 Franklin Street, Salem, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping that maybe you'd take a few minutes to read the letter here that I have given to you. I've spoken quite a bit to Paul Prevey here about the new ordinance that you've got coming up that you're going to change on July 1st. I wish that you would reconsider this ordinance for a little bit, give us more time to go over it, because of the fact that by requiring all the companies to change from livery to taxi, this will force each company running with livery plates to have to pay more money, a lot more money, to switch over. As an example, the insurance alone for a livery is $2,800 a year compared to almost $7,000 a year for taxis. This would be a $3,698 difference that the livery companies would have to foot per car per change. Also, the lettering of the vehicles, the taxi signs, the meters that you want, it will run in excess of close to $5,000 per car to initiate this change, which would force a lot of the smaller companies that are running with livery plates right now to either lay off people or go out of business completely because of the fact that they won't be able to foot this kind of financial difficulty. Also, by requiring, like I say, the meters, it's going to be an expense to each company because each car has to have one. And with the meters, you're going to lock people into a $5.50 fare just to step into the vehicle. Going nowhere, just to get into the vehicle will cost them $5.50, which I think leaves no room to negotiate or for them to charge a lower fare. But so, also, the increase, let me see, instead of the meters, I would suggest that an overall flat rate for anywhere in the city, plus charges for the extra passengers, the bundles, bags, etc., that you've already got on the ordinance that you've already drafted. You could charge those things and just maybe cap the taxi rates at $6, and that way and leave the livery companies alone in that respect, without having to force them to change. It'll also open up a lot of competition in the city between the companies, because the companies right now, they want more money. The taxis will charge anywhere from $5.50, $6, or up, or whatever we cap the rate at. And the liveries, because of the fact that they don't have to foot such a larger expense, will be able to keep the rates lower and compete with the taxi companies. Although now the difference between the taxi companies and the livery companies are that the taxis can sit on taxi stands. They can take flag downs, people on the sidewalk hailing a cab. They can also sit down to the depot down here and meet the trains without having to be called. The livery companies can't do that, so there's an advantage there for the taxis already. And charging the extra money that they would be charging for the $6 cap would make them that money. But if we go ahead with this ordinance, I can tell you right now, with over 30 years' experience in the transportation business, you're gonna lose a lot of people their jobs and possibly businesses. And all the clamoring for the existing taxi licenses, I believe the livery vehicles outnumber the taxis right now in the city, because of the way it's set up. If you go and change that, it's gonna, like I say, it's gonna cost a lot of money, a lot of considerable financial difficulties for these companies. And competition, rates will be set, people will be paying more. Tourists coming in won't know whether the taxi driver is taking them the right way, the short way, the least expensive way, because there'll be a meter on that dashboard. There's a lot of things that can happen here with changing this ordinance to what you want to do. And what we can do if we give it more time and think about it a little bit deeper, a little bit more careful, at all of the details and all of the aspects of what we're looking to do in place, so that we know before we implement this ordinance that we're not going to lose jobs, that we're not going to put small businesses out of business. And I would ask you to reconsider the vote tonight and put this off and send it back to committee for at least until September 1st, when the slow season starts, or the slow season stops or ends. Right now, we're going to be going into a slow season where everybody's going to be off for the summer. There'll be no people in the city except for the tourists. And it's going to be a financial burden, right there, all on its own. But to implement this with a $3,698 increase in the insurance per car and the meters and everything that the companies would have to do to comply with this ordinance that you're looking to implement, I think it's the wrong thing, and I think we should give us more time to take a better look at it, or deeper look at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on with the next item on the agenda, hearings, none. Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Barbara Soroyce to serve on the Beautification Committee with a term to expire June 1st, 2015.
Council Terrio.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this be conferred by roll call vote.
Under discussion?
I'm ready for discussion. Ms. Roy is well qualified for the position, and we should confer this.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I totally support this nomination. I mean, for those of you that don't understand, Barbara is also Lenny O'Leary's sister, right? And so she comes from a long line of people that have served the city very, very well. And I have seen her in action when she worked herself for the city. She's been an asset in every single way that I can ever think about. And I think she's going to be wonderfully helping all the committees. Any committee that she would want to work on, I would totally endorse. And I encourage everybody to support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I too want to rise in support of this nomination, and I've happened to know Barbara and her husband Ron since, I don't know, I was about this tall. Ron more so, and I think the first time I met Barbara was when, I don't know if Ron remembers this, I bought my first car from Ron, because Ron works at the lumberyard where I do a lot of business, and he sold me a Volkswagen Bug when I was getting ready to head off to college. I think I had a long conversation, he and his wife, and I think Barbara's the one who let it go for, like, I want to say like $150. That was a long time ago, but I think it's wonderful to see both Ron and Barbara in the chamber and see them. I know that they're both. I talked to them beforehand. They're both feeling well and they're doing well. So I think that Barbara will be a great asset to the beautification community. I look forward to nominating her. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Fury.
Madam President, I had the privilege and pleasure of starting my public service in elective office the same year that Councilor O'Leary started. And we have a nice dean's chair over here where Councilor Keefe would normally be sitting. It's a nice fitting memory. I think he's looking down tonight. He must be very proud of the public service that your family brings with the O'Leary name and your name. Thank you much for stepping aboard. And public service is a high calling, and Lenny made it a shining star situation for all of us, and a role model for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. I just rise in support of Barbara's nomination to the Beautification Committee. I've known her for a while. I've dealt with her when she was in the licensing clerk, through the Knights of Columbus, obviously through Councilor O'Leary, and I think she'll do an excellent job since she's a member of the Garden Club. So I think she'll make our city and keep our city beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilor Carr?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilor Prevey?
Yes.
Councilor Ryan?
Yes.
Councilor Sargent?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor Sosnowski?
Yes.
Councilor Terrio?
Yes.
Councilor Lovely?
Yes. 10 counselors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Counselor Terrell?
Madam President, I move for suspension of the rules to allow Ms. Roy to speak.
There being no objection, Barbara?
Hi. First of all, I want to thank you all, and I'm really excited to start this. I'm a retired city employee, like most of you know, and I've been with the Salem Garden Club for 12 years. So I think this will really brings a lot of interest to me, and I'm very happy to be nominated and appointed. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Anthony C. O'Donnell to serve on the Cemetery Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2013.
Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I also move for confirmation by roll call vote.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes. Tony here is the son of Tom, for those of you that don't know. Tom, the O'Donnell Funeral Home on the Common. Comes from a long line of really upstanding people in the city, have done an awful lot for this city. He's got a whole lot of big shoes to fill here. Dave Garnett was a huge presence in the city, and for that matter, you know, he's going to have a lot of work to do, but he's totally qualified to do this, and I move for unanimous confirmation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Counselor Carr?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Prevey?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes. Thank you. 10 counselors voting, 10 in the affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules to allow Anthony C. O'Donnell to address the council,
There
if he
being no
so
objection.
chooses.
Tony?
Well, I would like to thank Counselor Sosnowski for his kind words, and as my great-grandfather before me, my grandfather, my father, my uncle, my aunt, and my mother have all served the city of Salem in different ways, so there are definitely big shoes to fill, so you're correct in that matter, but I'll do my best to do so. And again, thank you very much, and I look forward to creating the best cemetery that I can.
Communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $340,000 to various capital outlay accounts for various repairs.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
Being no objection, Council McCarthy.
I also move for adoption.
Under discussion.
On discussion, thank you, Madam President. About 2 weeks ago, when we had the mayor in for the overview of the budget, we brought up the capital improvement plan. This is one aspect of the plan. Another aspect would be the bonding for the major aspects of the plan, including the fire truck and some other issues. But these are the monetary items that are listed on the page, as everyone has in front of them, that we considered, and when the mayors came in, we reviewed them, and it came out of committee to move for adoption. So at this time, I would recommend approval so that we can, obviously at our next meeting, we'll be taking up the budget as a whole, so we can get the whole package wrapped up prior to the end of the month, so that these issues can be taken up and go out to bid and be handled. So I would recommend it for adoption.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Council Sosnowski.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Just one quick question here. Last time this came before us, there was an amount in here appropriated for the Salem Common fence repair. Is that?
That's in the bonding part.
That's on the bonding part of it? Okay, fine, thank you. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor? Opposed? So voted. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $100,000 to acquire 4.86 acres of former Chadwick Lead Mills site and authorize the mayor to file applications for grants and/or reimbursements, and authorize the mayor to enter into all agreements and execute any and all instruments necessary on behalf of the city of Salem.
Council McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Any discussion?
Under discussion, just because the sheer fact it took the city clerk so long to read it, and there was so many moving parts to it, I think that, I mean, obviously I think that everyone's aware of the lead mills and the ongoing discussions that are going on with Marblehead and trying to acquire that site, but I think there's a few moving parts with regards to this appropriation that I would like to see vetted out in committee and to get a few answers to make sure. I mean, obviously, I think it's with a, you know, from the outside looking in without really diving into all the aspects of it, as we will in committee. I think it's a good thing. I think it's an appropriate move, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that we vet it out before we bring it forward. So I would recommend we move it to committee.
Thank you. Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I mean, again, I also agree with Councilor McCarthy. This is a wonderful thing. However, I just want to make the committee aware. I drive back and forth from Salem to Marblehead every day, and the signs are up there. Marblehead's going to be voting on this, I believe, in about a week, I think it is. All right, and it's going to be interesting to see what their committee has to say about the same thing, because it's a shared project. And I'm glad that we're going to be doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, Councilor McCarthy moves that the matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance. Under the rules, there's no vote required. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $30,000 from capital outlay equipment to be expended for the repair of the Salem Witch Trial Memorial.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Under discussion?
Under discussion. I've had a couple conversations with some people about this. I mean, it's an appropriation for $30,000 to repair the Witch Trial Memorial, which is the wall, which had fallen into disrepair, and I want to applaud the Salem Award Foundation that sponsors the Salem Award every year, of which the Witch Trial in this memorial are a big part of. For their efforts. I mean, it's an ongoing effort. I think they've already began preliminary work on it. The Ward Foundation has raised a lot of money themselves. To get to the final hurdle, they've asked the city to help with that matter, the fact that the memorial is on city property, and the mayor has identified a couple of funding sources for it, but unfortunately the mayor is out of town, and so I haven't had a direct opportunity to speak with her directly on this. So the feeling is that I think it's important that we move this, but I actually texted the mayor, and she'd be willing to come in at our council next committee meeting on the Thursday before our next meeting to take this issue up, and then by our next meeting, I hope to refer it out with a positive recommendation, but there's just a few questions I have personally on this, so.
Thank you. So you will have schedule it for the next meeting and report
Yes, it'll be on the agenda for the finance meeting at 6 o'clock on the 28th.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, the matter is referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance. Under the rules, no vote is required. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $6,223.74 from Retirement Stabilization Fund Vacation Sick Leave Buyback to be expended for the retirement of Donna Griggs.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
There being no objection, Councilor McCarthy.
I further move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. As you can see, as everyone has the packet in front of them, this is we have a city employee that's retiring. These are the contractual, it's through the union contracts that they determine these numbers. This retirement has gone through the whole process through her department as well as through finance and through the mayor's office. So everyone signed off on it. We're the last step in this. It's all contractual, so at this point, as we've seen with a bunch of these, Mr. Viscay, the finance director, has set up a retirement stabilization account. The money's in there to cover it, so I would recommend approval.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor? Opposed? So voted. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an appropriation of $2,368 from capital outlay equipment to be expended for the repair of damaged water line in the South Harbor garage.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for suspension of the rules.
There being no objection, Councilor McCarthy.
I further move for adoption.
Under discussion.
On discussion, I had a brief conversation with Mr. Viscay, the finance director, about this request. There was a water line that was damaged in the South Harbor garage. It ruptured, and the work's already been done. It was an emergency work that had to be done. Mr. Hacker was able to cover the expenses from a line item in his budget for some other maintenance requirement that he's going to need to recoup the money in the line item in order to cover the incurred expenses on the line item. But it was through no one's fault. It just, you know, water lines break and it broke and it caused damage, so that we had to incur that cost. So whereas we've already had to encumber the cost and the bill, it's my feeling that we should just allow for this transfer so that that can be done. Thank you.
Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further communications from the mayor.
We have a transfer of $7,000 from Human Resources Unemployment to Human Resources Workers' Compensation Medical Account.
McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Any discussion?
No discussion. I'd like to have Lisa Camarada, the Human Resource Director, in. I know that early this year we transferred some money, and I know this is additional money. So, obviously, you know, usually towards the end of each financial year when this occurs, the departments come in. They usually try to anticipate the total incurred costs, so we only have to make one transfer. Where this is the second one, I just like to ask how we've gotten to this point. Obviously, they're incurred costs that we have, so I know, but it's just nice to know how that happened. So we'll have her in, and I'll refer it out at the next meeting.
Thank you. Councilor McCarthy moves that the matter be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance under the rules, and no vote is required. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept donation of $3,000 from the City of Lynn and $1,000 from Tache Real Estate, Inc. for the Salem Police Department Dare Summer Camp Fund.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. It's nice to stand up and actually accept money as opposed to trying to spend some. I move for adoption.
Thank you. Under discussion?
Under discussion, thank you, Madam President. I want to go on record for the council to thank the City of Lynn and Tache Real Estate for their generous donations to the summer camp program. We all know what a wonderful program the summer camp program is, and how much they depend on these donations to provide those services for those kids. And I just want to once again go on record to thank the City of Lynn and Tache Real Estate for their generous donation.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Fury.
Madam President, I just got back from a nice reception for Peter Baglioni by the Plummer Home for Boys, recognizing his service and the police department service to by Peter and some of the police force. And this camp, one of my sons attended there. It's a wonderful course to take during the summertime for young people. It's preventative. These are wonderful donations, and they make a significant difference. And Peter's being recognized tonight for that difference. And at the Plummer Home for Boys at Finn's, and it's a great turnout tonight. And I just got back from it. And so this is a wonderful donation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to accept a donation of $2,000 from the Salem 5 Savings Bank for the Salem Police Department Dare Summer Camp Fund.
Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption.
Under discussion?
Under discussion, once again, I want to, on behalf of the City Council, thank the Salem 5 Savings Bank for their generous donation to this program we just talked about. It's a wonderful program, and I know there's a lot of institutions and individuals that contribute to make this program a success, and I want to just thank them for their donation.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Mayor's informational page, none. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, City Council, June 14, 2012, ordered that the year-to-date budget report dated May 31st, 2012 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Under discussion?
No discussion, Madam President.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Ordered that City of Salem, City Council, June 14, 2012, ordered that the monthly financial report dated April 30th, 2012 be referred to the Committee on Administration and Finance.
Under discussion?
No discussion, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, in the year 2012, an ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to to traffic, Chapter 42, Section 74 towing zones. Be it ordained that the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Congress Street, easterly side at the driveway of number 23 and extending to Wharf Street, no parking tow zone. This ordinance shall take effect by city charter.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Madam President. This goes back relative to the parking meters. That at the last meeting, there was specifically one meter that was added into a section of Congress Street that there were some questions about, and we had that meter location removed, but this is the follow-up to that because of its approximate location to the driveway. We didn't want to, Lieutenant Przewski felt that by making it a tow zone, that it was going to, it's kind of one of those weird ones, so someone could try to squeeze a car in there. So if it's posted that way, obviously there's no meter, it's posted no parking, tow zone. So that way if someone does in there, we can, because it impedes the traffic flow into that address. So I would recommend for first passage.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. The City of Salem and City Council, June 14th, 2012, a resolution. Whereas Michael P. Coleman was the president of the Salem Common Neighborhood Association for 12 years, and in that time he displayed untiring and dedicated service. And whereas Michael was instrumental in the restoration of the Roger Conan Monument, which we now enjoy for many years to come. And whereas his efforts also include a wide variety of projects, such as the Salem Common fence assessment, the restoration of the tot lot on the Salem Common, and those are just a couple, just to name a few. Whereas he was instrumental at assisting in the creation of the city ordinances to protect the Salem Common and its historical significance for future generations. And whereas, due to his enthusiasm and involvement, Salem owes Michael P. Coleman a debt of gratitude for his achievements. He is a loyal son of Salem. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City of Salem, on behalf of its citizens, thank Michael P. Coleman for his many contributions, and we hold him in the highest regard, and we publicly go on record as commending Michael for his outstanding efforts and his leaderships in all areas of community improvement. And be it further resolved that this resolution be made a record of these proceedings, and a suitable copy along with the city seal be presented to Michael Coleman on behalf of the City of Salem's City Salem Council, as a token of our deepest appreciation and admiration.
Thank you, Councilor. Under discussion?
Michael Coleman is a very unique individual, and I'm sure we've all run into him at various events, because he's just one of these people that's motivated to get out and do things for the city, and for absolutely no feedback at all. It's just out of the kindness of his heart and the hard work that he puts into it, and he has done so much in the leadership of the Salem Common Neighborhood Association that everybody in the entire city can enjoy that park. And as a matter of fact, if you go down there, even this past Sunday when we did the Fidelco Walk, for example, everybody was there enjoying it in all corners of the common. And a lot of that is due to all of his efforts and the team that he led going that way. And so it's just appropriate that we recognize him and thank him for his years of service. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? Councilor Creevy.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo some of the sentiments that Councilor Sosnowski had shared regarding Michael. Before I got on the City Council, I did not know Michael, but obviously I quickly came to know him when I was elected, became a member of the City Council, because every function I went to, every event, whether it was a social or political community event, Michael was always there. He always had a presence, and you got to know him, you got to know his interests and his drive and what made him really a dedicated person to Salem on many of the issues that he felt very fervent about. So we're very fortunate to have someone like Michael and the contributions he's made to Salem, not just to the Common, but to other things throughout the city. He certainly had a strong presence and was a wonderful leader to the Neighborhood Association. So I certainly appreciate the fact that Councilor Sosnowski brought this in, and it's certainly well-deserved on behalf of Michael to recognize him for all his work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Fury.
Yes, please, Madam President. Salem is a city of great neighborhoods, and that's just a real example of a great neighborhood. And Michael is the personification of public service. Last night, many of us went to Councilor Prevy's Ward 6 Neighborhood Association having a public forum for the candidates for senator, in which you were there, Councilor Lovely, Councilor President. And neighborhoods provide those type of services that are so instrumental and so invaluable to the city. And Michael is the personification of Salem. We're gonna really, that's a nice recognition for him. Thank you, Mike, for doing that.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? Counselor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, at this point, I forgot to do the most basic. I move for adoption of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor? Opposed? So voted. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Actually, the next one is mine. Counselor Fury, would you come up and
Please.
assume the chair?
My honor.
Thank you.
Council Lovely?
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem and City Council, June 14, 2012, ordered that the regular meeting of the City Council for the month of July and August be combined and held on Thursday, July 12, 2012. And actually, I'd like to offer an amendment that it be July 19, 2012. I think you received an email from the city clerk, and the finance department could use an extra week to get everything completed. So I'd like to have the meeting in July for July and August, July 19th, 2012. Thank you.
Any comments from the City Council? Any questions? On the recommendation of Council Lovely and the City Clerk for July 19th?
Yes.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Unanimous. Council Lovely, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. My pleasure. I will give it up.
Thank you. Further motions, orders, and resolutions. Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem, City Council, June 14, 2012, ordered that independent legal counsel review and provide a legal opinion on the PUD and the BPD, specifically 7.33 of the City of Salem zoning ordinance, number 3, in Business Park Development District, residential uses and associated improvements such as parking and landscaping cannot exceed 50% of the land area of the parcels, or in the case of mixed-use buildings, residential uses cannot exceed 50% of the gross square footage of the proposed development. Also moved that we move it to the Committee on Ordinances, License, and Legal Affairs, and co-posted with the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Thank you. Under discussion.
Discussion. I brought this in because it's been going on, the project is in Ward 6. It's the Salem Oil and Grease project. This change was made back in 2008, 2009, when I first got on the council, and it had to do with the Lowe's project. That's not happening now. This section was put in, when we first voted, it was voted down on the PUD and the BPD, and I believe it was Council Prevey brought it in on the second time to try to get this to pass to allow the PUD and the BPD. And we put this language in so we wouldn't have residentials or too much residential in the a zone that's supposed to be for business. When I was doing my research, and when I looked at the purpose of the business park development, 3 things are, it's the creation of business and industry within the city, enhancement of the city's employment base, and enhancement of the city's tax and revenue base. Those are the 3 main things. And when I went to the meeting last week at the planning board, this whole project, all they're talking about is residential. They barely mention any commercial. I just think it's being abused, and this is the first real test of this ordinance, zoning law. And the way they described it at the meeting, that they already had a legal opinion from the city solicitor, but after speaking to the city solicitor, she hasn't provided a written opinion yet. So that's why I'd want to put this into committee to give her time to write her legal opinion, because the opinion that they were going off was that everything was fine. And this should have actually been done in the beginning of this project. This question should have been answered. And I just think we want to send it to committee to discuss it more, because there's a lot of things. I mean, I live probably the closest, me and Council Prevey, the project's right in Ward 6, but it's right on the Ward 4 line. I can see it from my house. It's gonna affect me and the neighbors, the residents I represent on Beaver Street. And I want to make sure this is done right. And I think if we put it into committee, we can discuss it, and then by that time, we should have a written legal opinion from the city solicitor, Beth Bernard, to help us out. All right,
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor. Before we continue discussion, I did speak with Councilor Ryan before the meeting, and I would like that we not debate this on the floor tonight. If you have some brief comments, because you may have attended the meeting, that would be fine, but we're not going to get into a back and forth. that's more appropriate for committee, if councilors. So Councilor Carr and then Councilor
Thank you,
Craven.
Madam President. Just a point of clarification. The order states independent legal counsel review, so I guess I'm a little confused. To me, that would not imply the city solicitor, that would apply an outside review, is
Well, and if I could, that'll be an answer in committee. Whether it would be independent or whether it would be solicitor.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
Councilor Ryan is looking for independent review, but I think that's a matter to be discussed in committee.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Craven?
Thank you, Madam President. Just briefly, I support Councilor Ryan's council order to bring this in, because I've been at all the meetings regarding Salem Memorial and Greece, and this issue continues to come up without any clarification. So I think it's something, since the planning board has taken it as something new because it's now part of the BPD. They've done PUDs before in the past, but they've been part of other zoning components. And this is the first time since the council passed this in the beginning of 2009 that this is being taken up. So we're kind of at, a landmark point here relative to zoning. And I think when we talk about the council's intention here, we really need some clarification before the planning board can move ahead and start making decisions on this project. Thank you.
Councilor. Councilor McCarthy, and then Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I would offer up a friendly amendment to Councilor Ryan that since the building commissioner is the zoning officer for the city and actually interprets the way the ordinances are written and how they are enforced, that the zoning officer, Mr. Tom St. Pierre, be invited to this meeting, because as much as legal opinion is to intent, it's also the language, the way it is written. Mr. St. Pierre would be the one to interpret how it was written, how they would proceed. So I would offer it up as a friendly member that Mr. St. Pierre be invited to the meeting as well.
Councilor Ryan?
Madam President, it's fine. I didn't invite anybody because I figured we were going to invite the city solicitor, the building commissioner, and all those people because they're all involved, so anyone relevant.
Do you also want to invite the solicitor?
The city solicitor.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Sosnowski?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to find the language in this particular order. It's not on here that says it's going to ordinances, licenses, legal affairs.
No, but Councilor Ryan did include that to co-host with the Committee of the Whole.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that's for the record. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
I just want a quick thought.
Councilor Sargent?
To me, when all's said and done, the final proof of a project like this is if it pays half residential taxes and half commercial taxes. And that was our undivided intent, was to preserve at least half of our commercial tax base out of these properties. So if this ends up being worth $10 million, $5 million is supposed to pay whatever the commercial tax rate, around $29 per thousand, and $5 million maximum is supposed to pay the residential tax rate. And that's all I'm asking for. The same developer and attorney can be at a meeting arguing that this is 50% residential maximum, can be a year later when it's completed at the assessor's office saying it's 80% residential and I want to pay the cheaper tax rate. And I don't think the citizens of the city deserve the cheaper tax rate out of a project like this with all the debate we had with the business park and the planned urban development. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion from any councilors that have not spoken? There being none, on Councilor Ryan's order that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, and we invited is the zoning officer and the city solicitor. Any other invites? Okay.
The planning board? and
Planner.
the Zoning?
Planner.
The planner, city planner.
And the city planner. Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? So voted. Thank you. Further, any further motions, orders, and resolutions? Councilor Siegel.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and the City Council, June 14th, 2012, ordered that the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, meet to discuss repealing a zoning ordinance relative to Article 7, Section 7-15, Plan Unit Development, BPD, Business Park Development District.
Any discussion? No discussion?
Nope.
Okay, and there can be no further discussion since the matter is brought up this evening. On Councilor Siegel's order that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licensing, and Legal Affairs, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole. All those in favor? Opposed? So voted. Any further motions, orders, and resolutions? There being none, committee reports. Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. The City of Salem and City Council, June 14th, 2012, The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend approval of the tag days of the Salem Legion Baseball on July 21st, 2012, and July 22nd, 2012.
Thank you. On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
No further discussion is necessary.
Counselor, any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Counselor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, June 14th, 2012. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of excuse me, finalizing criteria for the home rule petitions, additional liquor licenses, and establishing criteria and review rules for granting and transferring seasonal liquor licenses, and the temporary moratorium on issuance of seasonal liquor licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend that a subcommittee be established to finalize criteria for the home rule petition liquor licenses and seasonal liquor licenses.
Thank you. On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Basically, we've met on this. There's a lot of give and take in the whole discussion, but there was a committee that was pretty much fell apart at the end of the last calendar year in December. They still have more work to do. I wasn't aware that that committee had not completed their work. We're bringing it back into a subcommittee so that we can complete that work, get it done, and review the rules that are in existence at this point. And that's when we had that meeting. It was going to be scheduled next week, but the city solicitor cannot make it, and neither can the chairman of the licensing board. So we're rescheduling it further down the road. We're letting the committee take a little bit of a breath right now, especially during the finance season.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, June 14th, 2012. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of regarding a hearing for Richard Cole on the denial of his vehicle for hire operator license, a trolley license, has considered said matter and would recommend that his license be granted.
On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Basically, we can't really discuss it other than to say that we met in executive session. We heard the case being presented on both sides of the fence, and the committee voted to grant his license.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Council Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem and City Council, June 14th, 2012. The Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, to whom is referred the matter of regarding a hearing for Peter White on the denial of his public guide license, has considered such matter and would recommend that his license be granted.
Thank you. On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, basically, this is another matter we can't really discuss openly because it was an executive session. But again, we heard the evidence presented on both sides of the cases here, and we made a decision, and the majority vote was to approve his license.
Thank you. All those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. City of Salem City Council, June 14, 2012. The Committee on Administration and Finance, co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter regarding the budget and analyst services, has considered said matter and recommend that the matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
On discussion, thank you, Madam President. We met earlier this evening with Mr. Daly, as for everyone who served on the council last year. Mr. Daly services were contracted through the council to provide budget analysis. After the budget season last year, it kind of fell off the map a little bit with the services that we were using Mr. Daly for. As the good council president stated during the meeting, I think it was something that's been pushed for by this council for a long time. We received funding for it. It's currently, the position for his contracted services is currently in this year's fiscal budget. It is funded in the line item in the budget in the clerk's office. And after an ongoing discussion with Mr. Daly during committee, it's felt that we can better utilize his services by coming up with a plan on trying to meet with him quarterly with regards to his availability. And most of the comments coming out of committee were positive with regards to retaining his services and renewing his contract. And obviously, I stated to Mr. Daly during those deliberations that, obviously, if he makes it through the budget, obviously, it's a line item in the budget. If it makes it through the budget process and the budget cycle, then his contract would then be renewed. And at that time, we'd renew his budget instead of, I believe it's now renewable in April. We'd make it renewable at the start of the fiscal year, being July 1. That would be more in line with the way the city operates budget-wise, and this contract would be operated that way. So there was no recommendation out of committee because he's in committee, so that we can meet with him whenever we want. But the committee felt pretty strongly about retaining his services and moving forward. So that's the report.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Council Fury.
Madam President, it's credit to you, Madam President, that this is really in the front burner, and has been on the front burner. It goes way back to the Charter Commission. That was a recommendation of the Charter Commission, and you kept it going, and with the advice and consent of the rest of the City Council, it's been positive. So I'm looking forward to a bright future and a positive future. So thank you for keeping this in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Prevey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm sorry, Madam President. I'm glad to hear from Councilor McCarthy that there was a discussion with Mr. Daly about that. I was, as you know, Chair of Finance some time ago and was involved in actually the hiring, the selection, as you were, Madam President, of Mr. Daly. And I think it's important, and it sounds like Councilor McCarthy in this committee is going to be on top of making sure that we get into some type of schedule with him and really kind of utilize him as best as possible and get our money's worth out of it from the standpoint of making sure the council gets the benefit and thereby the people as a result of it, because he brings a lot to the table. He's a very knowledgeable, well-experienced man, and I think we've just, scratched the surface with him. So I certainly look forward to utilizing him more, and obviously that's going to be borne out by the work the committee is doing with him. So I want to thank Councilor McCarthy and the committee for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Councilor Ryan.
City Council, June 14, 2012, the Committee of Community and Economic Development, to whom was referred the matter regarding the petition submitted by Arthur King from Wall Street regarding the leasing of city-owned land, has considered said matter and would recommend that the matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Under discussion, we had a meeting last week. Yeah, last week. It all blurs together. And we had Mr. King in, and he was here with his attorney, I think it was Mr. O'Brien, and he had sent a letter in because the street where he lives off, it was actually an article in the Salem Patch. It's off of, you go down Summit Street, it's off of Wall Street, it's Richards Road, and there's only really one house on it, but there's two houses on the corner of Wall Street. And the mayor executed a license to allow this person to put a garden there. They ripped up the pavement. It's a dead-end street. It's not a through street, but it would never came in front of the city council, and Mr. King had issues. He's trying to sell his house, and he's run into issues, and I just got a copy of a letter. Also, at the meeting, we discussed that we didn't want to renew the license for this year. There's no license for this year. So we didn't want to renew the license, and we wanted the resident to put it back to the way it was before, because in the license, it said it was only good for 6 months from end of June to the end of the year. And after they were done, they were supposed to remove the plants and restore it. And I guess this year they already started putting stuff in there. So we had the city solicitor, Beth Renard, sent a letter to the resident at 5 Wall Street, letting them know that we didn't renew the license. And we're going to have another meeting and invite him in, as well as Mr. King and the city solicitor, and come back and figure out what's going on here. All right.
Great, thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Councilor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam President. City Council, June 14, 2012, the Committee on Community and Economic Development, to whom was referred the matter regarding limits on density variances, has considered said matter and would recommend that the matter remain in committee.
On acceptance of the committee report, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion.
Under discussion, we also had this issue up at that same meeting last Thursday, and this is an issue that, order that Councilor Sosnowski brought in regarding zoning, and we have it in our committee, trying to to mold it and get it the way we want it to be, so we can send it back out and get it to the ordinances, license, legal affairs. But I think it ties into a lot of stuff that's going on right now with the PUD and the BPD. So there's like a bunch of stuff that's happening right now, but we kept it in committee. I want to try to have another meeting before the end of June. I don't know how possible that is with the finance, all the meetings we have with that, but we decided to keep it in committee and still work on the issue.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further committee reports. Council Creedy?
Thank you, Madam President. I have 4 committee reports that are listed on the council agenda. However, at the last minute, I needed to cancel and reschedule the meeting, which I did to July the 9th. And I did so. Councilor Sosnowski had alerted me to the fact that there was a public meeting that the planning department had put on relative to Universal Steel in that property. That is now my ward, and so I felt it important that I go. Councilor Sosnowski wanted to go, and Councilor Sosnowski had a couple of the orders that were on the committee, so we felt at the last minute it was best to change that and reschedule. So as a result, there will be no committee reports on those matters. Thank you.
Councilor. There being any further committee reports? There being none? Communications from city officials? None. Petitions?
We have a request from the residents of Lincoln and Monroe Streets, Pickman Park, to hold a block party on July 3rd, 2012, from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
Councilor McCarthy? It's for Councilor O'Keefe.
Well, since Councilor O'Keefe isn't here, I'm sure that he would be honored that I would bring this in for his constituents on Lincoln and Monroe. I move for approval for the block party, and I know if Councilor O'Keefe was here, he'd invite all of us to attend that very lovely event.
I'm sure he would. Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions?
We have a request from the residents of Shore Avenue to hold a block party on July 4th, 2012, from noon to 10 p.m.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this permission be granted.
Any discussion?
Very little. This is an annual event that they hold in that neighborhood, and you know, and I'm new to representing them this year, but they have extended out the invitation to us, and if we want to go and circulate from block party to block party, they'd be more than happy to have us.
Wonderful. Thank you. Amen. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions?
We have a request from the residents of Hemingway Road to hold a block party on July 4th, 2012, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. with a rain date of July 7, 2012.
Councilor McCarthy?
Thank you, Madam President. I guess I'm going to approve all the parties that no one's here for. I move for approval. I live in the Willows. We're really subject to the 4th of July. We think it should be a big event anyway, so I have no problem standing up for anybody who's not here to say that we should approve this, because I think the residents of Hemingway Road will have a wonderful time.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions?
We have a request from the residents of Beaver Street to hold a block party on July 7, 2012, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. with a rain date of July 14, 2012.
Councilor Ryan?
See, they're doing it.
Councilor Freeman?
We both have it, so go ahead, you can have it.
Thank you, Madam President. Beaver Street is still in Ward 6.
Thank you.
Half of it's in
Half of it, yeah. It got divided. It took me and Councilor Ryan to figure out exactly what was going on with it, but then on behalf of Councilor Ryan, I'll let him, maybe I should make half the motion, he should make the other half, and we'll all vote on it together, but since they have 2 ward councilors, I'm sure both of us will be there, and we'll certainly invite the rest of the council. Thank you. So I move for approval.
Councilor Creevy moves for approval. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions?
We request from the residents of Moffett Road to hold a block party on July 14, 2012, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. with a rain date of July 15, 2012.
Councilor McCarthy?
Really? I move for approval.
Any discussion?
It's a shame that Councilor O'Keefe can't be here today.
Oh, I know.
I move for approval.
Thank you. No further discussion?
No further discussion.
Thank you. All those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions?
We have a request from the Parents United of Salem to hold a road race and use of city streets on December 9, 2012.
Councilor?
It's one of us.
McCarthy. I'll do it.
Councilor Terrio?
Thank you, Madam President. I move this be granted.
Under discussion?
This has gone through our usual road race vetting process. It's at a time we don't usually have them at the beginning of December. It's a nice little change of pace. And the proceeds are going to the Autism Society.
Very worthy. Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions.
We have a communications from Cycle for Life for a bike run through Salem on September 8th, 2012.
Councilor McCarthy.
I guess I'm the go-to guy tonight. I move for approval.
Under discussion?
On discussion, the Cycle for Life, as you can see, that it was contained in the packet. They've done this for a couple times. It's a road race that goes through Marblehead, Salem, Beverly. It's a broad-based road race. They really, it's not a bicycle race that has a large volume. A lot of times, there's a lot of kids, families involved in it. There's no closing of the city streets in order to do it. It's just they just kind of follow a route and do it. So it's been going on for a few years. So I recommend approval.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions.
We have a petition from Extenet Systems for poles on Ward, Lafayette, and Congress Streets.
I see the hearing is ordered for June 28th, which is the night that we pass the budget, isn't it? Madam
Yes, it
City
is.
Clerk? Yes. It's going to be a long night. Hearing ordered, June 28th, 2012. Oh, Councilor McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. Because of that evening tends to be a long evening when we run through the budget and pass it, I looked through the packet. Is there anything that's time sensitive in this? Could we, I mean, obviously, we can have a public hearing, and we tend to do those before council meetings. We could do that. I know the schedule's kind of tight. We could do that in a non-council meeting night, or if there wasn't time sensitive, could we just move it to the July meeting? Yeah. I'm not sure how time sensitive that is, and I know that we have to post the hearing. I don't know if there's any way to reach out to this company. I just received the packet when I picked up mine yesterday. Two of the locations are actually in my ward. I have a few questions about it, but if possible, I would think that it would be. We'd get probably a few more people in here and a better opportunity to vet it out and ask questions because of the time constraints that have put us on that meeting. So that's just a thought.
Thank you. I'd like to rescind the hearing ordered to June 28th, 2012 for the petition for Extenet Systems and order that the hearing be July 19th, 2012. Any objection? There being none, thank you. Further petitions.
We have a petition from Attorney George Atkins for AL Prime Consultants for extended hours of operation.
I'd also like to schedule this for the hearing for July 19th, 2012. Any objection? There being none, thank you. Further petitions.
We have an application for increase of inflammable license for a total of 40,000 gallons at 175 Lafayette Street.
Thank you. Also would like to order this hearing for July 19th, 2012. Any objections? There being none? Thank you. Hearing is ordered for July 19th, 2012. Further petitions.
We have a license application for a public guide.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions.
We have a taxi operator, vehicle for hire, and vehicle for hire operator only license application.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that they all be granted.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions.
We have a hearing request from Thomas Valor on the denial of his public guide license.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs to hold an executive session.
Discussion?
No discussion.
There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further petitions.
We have one claim.
Councilor Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Unfinished business.
We have second passage of a bond order for the sum of $1,790,000 for capital equipment and improvement projects in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 7, 3A and 7, 9.
Counsel McCarthy.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage by roll call vote.
Any discussion?
Just briefly, this is the second passage of the bond order. It's relative to the capital improvement plan. The biggest item which is here is the new aerial ladder truck for the fire department to the, once the bids go out for it, to the tune of $1.1 million. And there's a bunch of other things in there as well relative to the new police radios and whatnot. So this was taken up in committee and we did first passage at the first meeting, and I would recommend second passage.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Counselor Carr?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Counselor Prevey?
Yes.
Counselor Ryan?
Yes.
Counselor Sargent?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Sosnowski?
Yes?
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor Lovely?
Yes. Thank you. 10 councilors voting, 10 in affirmative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 44, Section 31 through 44, Vehicle for Hire Taxi Cabs, Liveries, Limousines, effective July 1st, 2012.
Counsel Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for second and final passage.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. This is the culmination of almost 3 years of meetings with all of the taxi cab companies, all of the livery companies that were all invited to this, and we didn't exclude anybody. Toward that end, we came across a lot of things relative to comments made earlier today. We cannot override Mass General Law, and Mass General Law is very specific about what limos and liveries can do. And they are not allowed to act as taxis, pretty simply put. All right, as such, I'm going to move for second and final passage, because we've, for almost 3 years of meetings, enough is enough.
Right. Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further unfinished business.
The second passage of an ordinance amending Chapter 14, Sections 14 through 38, business licenses and fees for taxi cabs.
Counsel Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. This is just a clerical part where we're catching up with some of the fee parts of it. I move for second and final passage.
Yeah, under discussion?
I actually put the cart before the horse then, I'm sorry. No further discussion.
No further discussion. Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, Madam City Clerk, would you please call the roll? Do we have, I'm sorry. Aren't we on second passage of ordinance, business licenses and fees for taxi cabs? Aye.
Required in this.
Sorry?
Is roll call required for this one?
Do we not need a roll call vote?
No.
We don't. Okay, thank you. My apologies. All those in favor? Opposed, so voted. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic Chapter 42, Section 74, add resident sticker parking to the list of towing offenses.
Counsel Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion?
Yes, thank you. This was, again, one of these little clerical things where we had individual ordinances, but because it wasn't in the listed section, we're now just adding it to the listed section of towable offenses. And it's just, again, a clerical work.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic Chapter 42, Section 8, zones of quiet in front of number 356 Essex Street.
Counsel Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Under discussion?
Thank you. This is, as we talked about at the last meeting during the first passage, this is a new area for all of us, and I want to get this, I want to protect the young lady that lives there, to give her the medical respite she needs, but again, there's more questions than I have that I can answer. It's how do we enforce this, and I guess we're going to learn as we go along. But I move for second and final passage at this
Thank you,
point.
Counselor. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending Traffic Chapter 42, Section 56, parking meter zones established, repeal Jedney Street, Hawthorne Boulevard, and Margin Street.
Counsel Sosnowski.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for second and final, for adoption for second and final passage.
Any discussion?
Yes, this is just, again, the follow-up to the petitions that were over, I think it's over 4,200 signatures at this point. all right? Fortunately, they've stopped collecting signatures, and this is just the final passage of that. Plus, it's also, as earlier tonight, Councilor McCarthy put out, when we were adding the Congress Street part to this one, we also, he clarified that one as well, because that was introduced at the last meeting as well. Right? And so I move for second and final pass.
Thank you. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, opposed, so voted. Any further business before the city council this evening? There being none? Councilor Terrell?
Madam President, I move we adjourn.
Thank you. There being no objection, we are adjourned.